Hey, everybody, welcome to Five Fast Questions. Our guest today is Bob Kozakiewicz. And there you go. Now you know the pronunciation of Bob's last name. Now, Bob has been a woodcarver for decades. He's had many accomplishments. He's a regular contributor and featured artist in Woodcarving Illustrated. He's also the creator behind the Wood Chip Chatter blog. And of course, many of his designs and carvings have there have been some of the most popular ones that I have seen. That's for sure. Bob, welcome to Five Fast Questions.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure, Bob. I've been looking forward to this conversation for a little while. So we've got five questions, and we'll start with the first one, and that is the story. You know, most people have a story about how they got into wood carving. Tell me yours.
Well, my story is pretty simple, I guess. Like any young boy, I had a fascination with knives, and I would get sticks out of the woods and carve them down with my pocket knife, my old timer pocket knife, and just make smaller sticks out of them, basically. But when I got into junior high school, back in the day, we used to take shop class. The boys took shop class, and the girls took home ec. Um, well, you make the normal shelves and tables and all kinds of things in shop class, and they had a little bookshelf with some books on it. And I happened to be looking through it one day, and this one book caught my eye, which was Carving Caricature Animals by Elma Waltner. It's it's not in print anymore, but it had very simple caricature animals. And I thought, wow, those are cool. I could carve those. And so I asked my shop teacher if it would be all right to carve these little animals instead of making another bookcase. So he said, yeah, sure, give it a shot. Why not? Because he was kind of a wood carver himself, I guess. And it started from there. I started with an X-Acto knife with a number 11 blade, if you all know what that looks like. And I cut out a piece of wood on the bandsaw in the shop and took off from there. I carved the first one. It took me weeks to do, especially with a small X-Acto knife, but I loved it. I just loved the sound of the blade going through the wood and the feel of the blade going through the wood, and do today still. But I finished that one and then went on to another one and then another one, and I think I probably carved just about every one in the book. And then that's the story. It just branched out from there. Found more books, and back in the day, we didn't have the videos yet. I started back in 1967, and we didn't have videos and YouTube and all that great stuff. So I had to dig up books, and so I pretty much taught myself how to carve through books.
Yeah, good old shop class. We used a lot of pine in shop
Yep,
class when.
yeah, yep. My first caricatures were carved out of sugar pine. I didn't even
Mm.
know of the word basswood back then, but we carved out of sugar pine,
I
which
love
is a
that you
pretty good
said,
carving wood, by the way.
yeah, yeah, not bad. I love that you said you really enjoyed the feeling of the knife going through the wood, and of course you still do today.
Yeah,
It's a great
I think a
feeling,
lot
yeah.
of wood carvers get that. They love the feel of that sharp blade cutting through the wood. It's just something that wood carvers like, I guess. I don't know, but I enjoy it.
Long as it's sharp, right?
Yeah, keep it sharp. Keep it sharp. And I guess um, I'm going ahead. You have another question,
I
and part of
do,
my
yeah.
answer has to do with keeping it sharp.
Well, there you go. So let's get to the question then, Bob. Great segue. So, if you could speak to a beginner woodcarver and give them one piece of advice, but just one piece, what would that be?
Well, it's actually three pieces all in one, but I would suggest get a good knife, buy the best you can afford, keep it sharp, that's critical, and just try to carve something a little bit every day. Even if it's only for 15 or 20 minutes, pick up a piece of wood and your knife and just carve something. And sooner or later you'll see improvement. And that's the best way to improve is just carving and just doing it.
Yeah, yeah. Experience is a great teacher, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Well, Bob, early on when I was doing the intro, I mentioned some of your accomplishments, and I know there have been many. When you think back of all of your wood carving related accomplishments, which one would you say you're most proud of?
I would say, and I would have never dreamt this in a million years, that I'm probably most proud of the my writing, my the articles that have been published in Wood Carving Illustrated and Chip Chats and those. I'm probably most proud of that. And I just, like I said, in a million years, I never dreamed that I would have done something like that. Um, and I'm also proud of the fact that I can teach my grandchildren how to carve too, and I've done that, and they're young, they're only 10 and 11, but they've picked it up, and they're working at it, and I'm proud of that. I'm a proud grandpa, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's exciting. It really is. And I'm sure you enjoy teaching them as well. So,
Yeah.
Bob,
Oh, I
let's uh,
do.
let's tell folks a fun fact. Now, what would you say is a fun fact about you that most people would be surprised to learn?
Well, actually, and I still practice, but I used to be a professional magician, a close-up magician. I used to do parties, and particularly children's birthday parties. And I just love entertaining children, as I love children so much. But performing magic for children is great. It's probably my second most favorite thing next to wood carving. Just to see the expressions on their faces when you turn a trick on them and that. And I'm also teaching my grandchildren a little bit about how to do magic too. I want to pass on as much
Interesting.
as I can while I can.
Oh, there you go. That is surprising. Now, when you say close up, is that the whole sleight of hand kind of deal?
Right, right. That's
Yeah.
sleight of hand as opposed to stage productions. You do it right under their nose, and to me, that's one of the greatest things. Is they're looking right at it, and they see it happen right before their eyes, and just don't know how it happened. It's a lot of fun.
That's great. Yeah. That sounds like a fun hobby for sure. Well, Bob, I mentioned about the Wood Chip Chatter blog, and I know you write articles for that frequently as well.
Yes.
Tell everybody about the kinds of resources you have available for wood carvers, whether that be classes or the blog, other things that you might have available, and where people could find them.
Well, basically, my blog and my articles are the resources that I can offer. Many people have asked me to do videos, and do I teach courses? And unfortunately, I don't get out much. My health is such that I don't travel a lot, and so I write instead rather than do videos. I started with videos, and I wasn't happy with what I was turning out. So if I'm not happy with it, then we're not doing it. Basically, it's my blog. I publish the blog Wood Chip Chatter once a month. It comes out every Friday. I'm sorry, the first Friday of every month. And it comes in your email. You can just go on to woodchipchatter.com and you can subscribe right there. It's a free blog. There's no cost involved, and you'll get it in your email the first Friday of every month. And I have usually there's a story, and I have questions and answers and things like that. And some fun stuff. I put a pattern in every month and stuff like that. So most everybody that I've spoken to or that has given me feedback has said they really enjoy it. So I guess I'm doing something right.
Well, I know I do. And I've also seen where people might submit photographs and ask for critique, and you
Right.
were willing to
That's
do.
another feature which I call my Photoshop. You could send in photos of your work if you want to, display them. I'm happy to put people's photos in the blog and display them and talk about them a little bit. And surprisingly, there's not as many people that want to show their work as you would think, but
Yeah.
I manage to get enough every month.
Well, Bob, I appreciate your time here today. I will say it has been magical. I've really enjoyed it.
Okay, great. I'm glad you did. It was a pleasure being here. I feel honored to have been asked to do this.
Well, I have to say, and really thank you, Bob. It was your simple Santa design that got me back into wood carving. I saw
That's
it.
cool.
Yeah. And, I see that design so frequently. I'm sure there are many people who have carved that design and they have no idea who created it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what happens with carvings. People say, should give credit to the designer, but it gets so far down the channel that
Yep.
you have no idea who the designer might have been. So I understand that.
Well, I certainly appreciate all of your contributions to the wood carving community, Bob. And like I said, that design and your others that you do are just fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Thank
thanks
you.
for letting people find out a little bit more about you. And thanks for all of the time that I know that I've read your articles and your blog posts. Much
Great.
appreciated.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it.
Folks, thanks for joining us here today. We'll be back with another session of 5 Fast Questions sometime soon.